footage has emerged. It's shocking.
Caitlin Clark will be sidelined for at least 2 weeks
with a quad injury.
How Caitlin Clark got hurt.
Fouls her for the 4th time. It's cheating.
Just moments ago, the WNBA world was shaken again. Newly leaked footage shows Caitlin Clark's brutal injury in shocking, never-before-seen detail.
Many WNBA fans are calling out the referee problem.
The referees literally turned their back.
Now, a WNBA referee has officially been suspended. Yes, suspended. The truth is catching up to the league, and the fallout is nothing short of explosive.
After every single game, WNBA players, fans, coaches are all complaining about the referees, and they have shown that they're not going to change anything because the referees continue to be horrible.
Caitlin Clark, the face of this season, the reason for sold-out crowds and record ratings, has been pushed to her breaking point. This wasn't just an injury. It was reckless negligence in a system that protected enforcers over stars.
Y'all see what's happening right here? That is a WNBA referee turning his back to Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Oh my God. I mean, he literally took out his back turn, ignoring Caitlin. I mean, this is bad.
The world celebrated her rise. Someone else had a hidden agenda. Now, with the footage exposed and a referee punished, the story the WNBA tried to bury is spiraling into public chaos.
Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the interest in the Fever and the interest in the WNBA.
Rookie Caitlin Clark was subject to several intentional fouls.
What really happened that night on the court? Why was Caitlin left unprotected for so long? And is this just the start of a deeper, darker truth the league can't cover up anymore?
This is a WNBA problem, and as more and more eyeballs are watching this league, it becomes growingly an issue. The officiating feels you never have a true grasp on what it's going to be.
Stay tuned, because this changes everything. The footage is crystal clear, and so is the outrage. Caitlin Clark didn't fall from a simple play. She fell because refs refused to protect her.
The referees are not listening to them. They're not listening to the coaches. They're not listening to the players. They're not listening to the fans. They're listening to their stakeholders. That's why I keep saying nothing is going to change till the mindset and whoever's running all of this, the stakeholders, governance, whoever these people are.
Week after week, fans watched Clark absorb hard hits, take intentional fouls, and get knocked down without a whistle. But this time was different. This time, slow-motion footage caught everything.
If this injury does anything, it should be a wake-up call to the WNBA, the Players Association, the team owners, that just like that, all this fanfare, all this interest, all this newfound attention on the league can disappear overnight.
Result is undeniable. A hard foul, a missed call, a star limping off, and a referee who turned her back on all of it. Because Clark wasn't just injured, she was failed.
The referees just exposed their hand so bad, bro. I mean, they just didn't care no more. They didn't care. The world was watching how bad the cause was. They didn't care at all. They was going to get their issue off against the Fever no matter what. And I'm here to tell you, that's exactly what went down, bro. They have an agenda against Caitlin Clark.
The injury now sidelining Clark for at least 2 weeks. A left quad strain didn't just appear. It built over games of uncalled contact and unheard cries for help.
She will be out for 2 weeks minimum following a quad strain.
Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham going to the officials and trying to, ask for an explanation of what had just occurred. That official completely stonewalled them.
The officials looked more focused on keeping the clock running than keeping the league's biggest star safe.
Caitlin Clark is being roughed up, but the physical wear and tear on Caitlin Clark, I'm not surprised that 2 weeks into the season, she's already got an injury.
Now, the backlash is erupting. WNBA insiders confirmed that one official from the game where Clark was injured has been quietly suspended. No public statement. No press release. Just a silent internal punishment dropped quietly, hoping fans wouldn't catch on.
Caitlin Clark, somebody who was responsible for 26.5% of all WNBA economic activity last season, including revenue from merchandise, ticket sales, and television.
Caitlin Clark out at least 2 weeks waited, but can the WNBA maintain without her? Can the WNBA pack arenas, draw ratings?
The footage leaked, and now it's everywhere. This isn't just a blown call. It's proof the system is broken. These refs aren't new. They're just not qualified.
Felines head coach Stephanie White, she was complaining about her team not getting a whistle, not being respected.
Some went straight from high school games to the WNBA. No G League, no experience, no accountability. And behind the scenes, a committee of GMs and coaches dictates the calls. What's allowed, who gets protected, and who doesn't.
Caitlin Clark appears to be hunted every game. She deals with physicality that no other player in the league is dealing with. The WNBA not stepping in to protect their cash cow, their only draw, their only star, and this is the end result.
Caitlin Clark, she didn't make the protected list, and she paid for it. The league built their season around her, sold her face, hyped every game she played. But when it was time to protect her, they went silent. Fans
It's the Caitlin Clark disrespect. And what I mean by that is you've got somebody who is obviously the most popular player in basketball. You got somebody that I would argue may be a top 5 most popular athlete in the United States of America. All right. You got this athlete in a league that nobody's been watching, never turned a profit, and your system is broken against that team?
till now. Because this injury and the referee suspension have finally blown the lid off a scandal that's been boiling for too long. This isn't one missed call. It's a dangerous pattern that started on day one.
You guys, and they do not talk about it here. And that's why I also don't want us to personally attack some of these referees. I think they're doing their job. If they're hiring referees who basically didn't have any experience but high school refereeing jobs, and then they did a stint in the G League, like these referees actually aren't. I gained and reconfirmed with myself that not much is going to change.
From the opening tip of her pro debut, it was clear. Opponents weren't just trying to beat Clark. They were trying to break her. Cheap shots, full court bumps, off-ball hits, all ignored by the officials.
It took us halfway through the season. This year, it took us 4 games for Stephanie White to say, I've had enough.
I thought she got fouled. You know, I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games.
But for Caitlin Clark, nothing. No calls, no protection, just silence. Game after game, she hit the floor, and refs swallowed the whistle. When she asked why, they turned their backs. Literally.
Y'all see what's happening right here? That is a WNBA referee turning his back to Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Oh my God. I mean, he literally got his back turned, ignoring Caitlin. I mean, this is bad.
Now there's viral footage of a WNBA ref blatantly ignoring Clark after a hard hit, turning away as she pleads for answers. That's not just disrespect, it's a failure to do the job.
There's a committee for stakeholders, coaches, governors, and general managers, and that is saying what style of basketball they want to allow, and the referees are following that law.
And fans weren't the only ones who noticed. Coaches, players, even national broadcasters have spoken out. The red flags are impossible to ignore.
Said the reason that people are complaining is because they haven't watched the WNBA before, and these are just new fans who don't understand.
Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever, went on record calling the officiating egregious. She tried to challenge one of the worst no calls of the year, but a strange rule requiring a full timeout blocked her. No review, no justice.
I thought she got fouled. You know, I think it's pretty egregious what's been happening to us the last few games. And I might be able to understand it if we were just chucking threes. And the disrespect right now for our team has been pretty unbelievable. So it's disappointing.
Still, Caitlin Clark kept going. She played through the fatigue, the fouls, and the pain. She never complained, never rested. She gave the league everything and got a quad strain and weeks on the bench in return.
The only draw in your league, the only player capable of selling tickets, is potentially out for an extended period of time. What the hell are you gonna do now?
Leadership stays silent. No apology, no policy update, no plan to fix the mess. Just one suspended ref and a league. Praying fans forget it all.
In that situation. And I understand the frustration that I think comes the most with officiating is the inconsistencies of officiating. But listen, this is not unique to the WNBA.
But this time they won't get away with it. Because Clark wasn't just injured, she was failed. And now the league's failure is playing out for everyone to see.
I did notice in the Liberty game, Caitlin Clark's shots were all very short. So it was showing that she wasn't like getting off and she was having a difficult time making those threes, and a lot of explosiveness from those 3-point shots does come from your legs.
What makes this worse is the league's complete refusal to take responsibility. The WNBA is in a full-blown officiating crisis, one that didn't just hurt its biggest star but exposed a system built to protect itself, not its players. And fans are seeing through the smoke.
There's clearly a problem if it's not just one team. Also, by the way, it's not just the Indiana Fever. I know it's been the biggest story this week. Brittany Griner left a sideline interview to go yell at the refs.
Behind the curtain, referees aren't acting on their own. They're taking cues from a so-called competition committee, a group of coaches, GMs, and league insiders, people with agendas, people who don't want Caitlin Clark rewriting the WNBA's rules.
2024 was a year of unprecedented growth in viewership in the WNBA, a substantial amount of which can be attributed to Caitlin Clark, who took the basketball world by storm after an all-time college career.
Who had appeared in 185 consecutive games between her career at Iowa and her time with the Indiana Fever. 139 games with the Iowa Hawkeyes. She never missed one.
These insiders are slowly shaping the game to keep it physical, slow-paced, and gate-kept. But Caitlin Clark, she's a disruptor, and they don't like.
But Kelsey Mitchell said even if there is a injury, hopefully it's just, like a little nagging thing. And again,
take care of your body and just make sure you I think recovery is everything. I think if you're in tune to your body, you know what you need. Caitlin.
Her lightning-fast tempo, her deep threes, her media magnetism. Clark doesn't fit the old mold. She threatens it. And instead of evolving with her, the league tried to rein her in. When that didn't work, they let the hits pile up until her body gave out.
Who had appeared in 185 consecutive games between her career at Iowa and her time with the Indiana Fever. 139 games with the Iowa Hawkeyes. She never missed one.
Obviously, Caitlin's carrying a lot on her shoulders. A big star that is coming to a lot of these buildings. And
now, a ref suspension comes far too late. Just a Band-Aid on a broken foundation. The league had a golden chance to protect its future, but it chose to shield its insiders instead. The result? A superstar on the sidelines, furious fans, and a credibility crisis growing fast.
But at the same time, the Fever were on the wrong end of some whistles, it seemed, in this game. And it's seemingly been that way for much of the season. And it's been a recurring theme where there's a level of physicality allowed against them, and they're not allowed to reciprocate on the other end. That particularly, of course, goes for Caitlin Clark.
But when she needed protection most, they turned away. Fans didn't. The world watched. The media's reporting. And now, the pressure is on. The WNBA can't hide behind blown calls and shady rules anymore. Eyes are on them, and this time the spotlight's not on the court. It's on the people in charge.
All right, when that foul took place, CBS said she's got a challenge left. Well, it didn't matter. She couldn't use it. Stephanie White could not challenge that foul call on Lexi Hull, the one that led to the game-winning free throws from Sabrina Ionescu, because she didn't have a timeout. You need a full timeout, not a reset timeout, to initiate the challenge. Now, my issue with that is it would have been nice if the CBS announcers hadn't even brought up the challenge.
Not because she couldn't handle the spotlight, but because the league refused to shield her. Now a ref has been suspended, the footage is viral, and the system stands exposed. This wasn't just bad luck. It was a preventable injury born from silence, politics, and fear. They built the season around Clark, sold the tickets, cashed the checks. Footage shows Caitlin Clark's brutal injury and shocking
He will be out for 2 weeks minimum following a quad strain.
Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham going to the officials and trying to, ask for an explanation of what had just occurred. That official completely stonewalled them.
Y'all see what's happening right here? That is a WNBA referee turning his back to Caitlin Clark and the Fever. Oh my God. I mean, he literally got his back turned, ignoring Caitlin. I mean, this is bad.
Caitlin Clark is the driving force behind the interest in the Fever and the interest in the WNBA.
Rookie Caitlin Clark was subject to several intentional fouls.
If you stand with Caitlin Clark, drop A in the comments. Smash that like button and subscribe for the raw truth. The league may want this gone, but we won't let it vanish. Justice for Caitlin isn't just overdue, it's non-negotiable.